It's week 15 of the fantasy football season. That means the playoffs for most of you. You want to know which quarterbacks and tight ends to start or to stream. We've got you covered with our must starts and must sits. Don't forget, though, to hit that subscribe button before you go. All right, let's start with quarterback position first. Who do you like the best in terms of streaming quarterbacks this week?
I am loving Jalen Hurts this week against Arizona. Maybe too much, but I've got him as a top 10 quarterback this week, and I'll tell you why. I know he only threw for 167 yards last week, but he rushed for 106, and more importantly, he didn't take a sack against New Orleans. New Orleans defense did not sack him one time. Now they play Arizona, and you might look at that and say, that's not a great quarterback matchup, but here's the thing. Arizona plays a lot of man defense, and running quarterbacks do very well against man defenses because when you're playing man-to-man, your back is turned to the line of scrimmage a lot because you have to watch the man you're covering. And that's going to open up a lot of lanes for Jalen Hurts. I see him going over 100 yards rushing again in this one, and he can even find the end zone with his legs. That's 16 points right there, irrespective of what he does in the passing game. And Arizona's secondary and defense not as good as New Orleans defense, so this is a better spot than he had last week. I think Jalen Hurts is a guy, if you're not comfortable with your QB and he's on your waivers, throw him in. He's got a ton of upside this week.
Yeah, it's crazy. How often is there that you have a quarterback with top 10 upside that was just almost 0% owned before last week? And then for mine, it's going to be kind of the opposite here. Instead of the young mobile rushing quarterback, I'm going to go with the nice statuesque veteran, Tom Brady. Pretty much the anti-Jalen Hurts here, but it's a great spot for him going against Atlanta. And you know that secondary has been soft all year. It's still their weakness. If Ronald Jones doesn't go, which looks like almost a foregone conclusion, they're going to have to pass the ball more, going to lean on the pass. So it's a great spot for Brady to put up some stats here. It's an inferior secondary, and Tampa Bay needs to win. They need to keep the foot on the gas pedal. So I don't feel like they're going to play down to their competition. So Brady is in a really good spot. I feel like he could be a top 10 quarterback this week.
Yeah, Atlanta is one of those defenses that you start quarterbacks against because quarterbacks always play better against Atlanta, and shouldn't be any different for Tom Brady this week.
All right, so those are the quarterbacks we like. Who are the quarterbacks that we are fading this week? Chris, who's your must sit?
I think it's time to bench Ben Roethlisberger. I know he's throwing the ball a ton, but it's not really resulting in any kind of upside, right? His receivers can't catch. And when they do catch, his passes only travel, a few yards in the air. He's got an ADOT, which is, if you don't know, is a depth of target. So it's basically how far the ball flies from the line of scrimmage of 7.3, which is 31st among all quarterbacks. So he's basically throwing the ball barely past the line of scrimmage this year. Just not enough upside here for a game when, if you're in a 1 QB league, you're not looking for a QB to get you 15 points. You want that upside, right? You're trying to win your matchup. You need that upside, and Roethlisberger just doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's weird. When did Ben Roethlisberger turn into the old version of Drew Brees, or just dinking and dunking? I'm not going to go with Cam Newton. I know he could always run in a touchdown. Yeah, that's a possibility. But when you only throw for like 53 yards, when you're turning the ball over, I mean, against a defense like the Dolphins, which is for real, I don't feel like you can do it. They're keeping the ball on the ground, yes, but it's not happening at all through the air. Cam Newton, I don't know what's going on with him because he just doesn't look the same. I don't know if it's because of the COVID thing. Since he's recovered, he's just been up and down. This is definitely going to be a down week for him. The Patriots, yeah, they're going to try to win as hard as they can. It's not going to be through the air. Cam Newton just carries way too much risk for me, and you can't take that risk in the playoffs.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Miami has forced a turnover in every game this year, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. This defense was underrated up until the mid part of the season, and now we see that they're for real. Cam Newton has had no problem turning the ball over. So if you're in a league that actually penalizes quarterbacks more heavily for turnovers, he's a definite must avoid. All right, and let's get to the tight end position. Before we get to tight ends, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, and you catch all our videos as soon as they drop. All right, so who must you start at tight end this week?
I think Irv Smith for the Vikings is a great streaming option this week if you need a tight end. To the dismay of everybody who started Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson last week, Irv Smith actually led the Vikings in receiving yards with 63. He had 4 catches. He also had a touchdown. Now he gets a Chicago team that's allowing the 3rd most points to tight ends. And if you looked last week, if you've seen the highlights of Jordan Aiken's ridiculous drop, I mean, he was like 20 yards. He had nobody around him, and I guess he lost the ball in the sun or something, but literally it hit him in the hands and fell to the ground. He should have even had a touchdown last week. So no reason to think Irv Smith can't find the end zone again in this one. And with Kyle Rudolph unlikely to play again, he really has no other competition at the tight end position. So he's a great streaming option if you need one.
Yeah, Irv Smith is kind of one of those under the radar guys. I've been banging the drum for all year. I actually traded for him in a couple of dynasty leagues. Kind of glad I did. And if you watch the tight end waiver wire video this week, he was my #1 pickup recommendation. And I also like Robert Tonyan. I know he's a touchdown machine lately, so it seems like a no-brainer. But against Carolina, it's an even better reason to start him. I know Carolina has been a little bit tough on wide receivers this year, but not so tough against tight ends. Tonyan, I know it's not guaranteed he'll catch a touchdown, but still, it seems like he's been one of the more trusted options for Aaron Rodgers. And in this matchup, I mean, I feel like the points are going to be plentiful. Unfortunately, not my Allen Lazard. I know I had high hopes for Lazard. It looks like Tunyan's the guy he's going to in the red zone. So I feel like Tonyan is a pretty safe pick here.
Yeah, and the Packers, when they get near the goal line, Aaron Rodgers is calling his own number almost every single time, right? It's not Aaron Jones, it's not Jamal Williams, it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's Devontae Adams and Robert Tonyan. So certainly he could find the end zone again.
All right, and these guys, we don't think they're going to find the end zone or really do much of anything. So tight end must sit. Who you got?
I got Trey Burton. I know for a while there, he looked like a good start, but he hasn't done anything lately. And even with Phillip Rivers playing great, he didn't even get a target last week, Trey Burton. Right? You got 3 healthy tight ends there in Indy with Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox, and Trey Burton. And you got T.Y. Hilton kind of reemerging as a legitimate passing game threat. You got running backs catching passes out of the backfield. So it's impossible to trust Trey Burton in any regard at all. I mean, literally, you're just hoping he catches one pass for a touchdown because I don't know what else you're expecting for a guy who didn't even see a target last week. So don't even look at Trey Burton as a possible streaming option or a starting option or a deep league option or any kind of option. He's only a benchable option.
Yeah, and Burton is a guy who had scored for a couple weeks in a row. Looks like he was being used in the red zone. I guess that's gone away. Now that they found T.Y. Hilton works again, Jonathan Taylor's on a roll. Burton, they're just not enough touches to go to him. They don't need him anymore, honestly. And if you were entertaining thoughts of starting Dalton Schultz, then you could drop those. He's been kind of a fringe tight end starter, kind of a streamer option throughout the season. But in this matchup, you just can't. The 49ers do not give up points to tight ends. They are the stingiest, giving up the fewest fantasy points per game to the tight end position, the fewest yards to tight ends. So it's just not a great spot. There's no chance that he's in my lineup. There's so many other tight ends actually that have better matchups too. So Schultz should not be one of the guys you consider.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game for the entire Dallas offense against the San Francisco defense. So definitely don't want any part of Dalton Schultz.
That does it for quarterback and tight end start sit. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and check out our running back start sit video for the best advice to help you win.